We're going to be talking a bit on, Nigeria's energy sector, analysis on the implementation of Naira for crude policy. Experts predict that the return of the Naira for crude policy will ensure stable, affordable petroleum price now. The temporary arrangement, which ended on March 31st, has now been permanently restored, signaling a strong commitment to conserving foreign exchange and spurring investment. Dr. Muda Yusuf of a CPPE highlighted that this policy is a significant move towards economic sovereignty, while industry leaders like Biligili Aris of Petron and Eko Idoko of Koran stressed the need for fair pricing and expected the policy to stabilize the Naira and lower petrol costs. Now, the ministry underlined that the policy is aimed at boosting energy security and encouraging investment in domestic refining infrastructure, making it a critical step towards a more competitive market. These are all angles where different stakeholders have come to add their different opinions on the Naira for crude policy. But this morning we have, who is going to be joining us for this segment, and also for the next segment, I will be exploring all stories, and angles concerning the Naira for crude policy. We have Nurudeen Abdallah, editor 21st Century Chronicle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So we had the Naira for crude then, when it first came, and we saw a very high competition in the market with Dangote taking the lead and putting fair prices out there. At some point, I saw a inflation sign at 820 Naira per litre, and it was good. Things were coming down, transportation was coming down a bit. We saw a little bit of difference up until it expired in 31st March, and now it's been restored permanently. What's your take on this?
I think what the federal government did is a very good development. Just look at it. When on March 17, I think, the Dangote refinery announced that, okay, now they will be selling in dollars because the expiration of that policy. The prices went up from 850 or thereabout to almost 1,000 plus,
yes.
An increment of about 200 Naira at a go. But now that's stabilized now. So it's a very good development, and it's a win-win. If you look at it from the government angle, I'm talking about the NNPC, the FIRS, it's a very difficult decision because they are losing money. They are losing money. They have to remit to the FAC, and what have you. But now it is a good development that now it's a permanent end. But like they admitted, there could be some hiccups here and there. But the fact that it has now been a permanent thing, and we have experimented it for 6 months. So we have already known most of the areas that were problematic, and maybe devise ways of making amends for the good of the people. But more importantly, we hope that the pricing should be maybe 600 or thereabout. This is what Nigerians are hoping, you understand? So that, with the other economic reforms, the aftershocks of these economic reforms in other sectors can be streamlined, particularly with this. So we are hoping that with now the full implementation, permanent full implementation of the policy, maybe it will bring down the petroleum product prices maybe to about 600, 650, so that at least Nigerians can jubilate,
So with that, what do you think the effects of this deal will be on foreign exchange, and how it impacts inflation and the economy as well, and the common Nigerian?
In the last 6 months, there is what I can call a stability in the forex
markets, yeah.
It now hovers between 1,550 to 160. That's even in the black market. And it has been like that for the past 6 months when that crude. Because if you look at our consumption, Dangote, when tinubu came, for instance, even before then, they have eliminated importation of petroleum products from those that can access the forest at official rates, particularly with the float of the Naira. But now, Dangote may no longer need those dollar from the open market to import crude, refine them and sell it in the same, meaning that even our local marketers here, they have to acquire the dollar from the open market, buy the refined product, So this has taken care of it. And if you look at it in the last 6 months, there is stability. We are no longer moving to 180, 190, 2,000. It hovers for about 6 months or so, between 155 to 160. So it's a very good development. I hope it can come down still, particularly with the stability in this. If this thing takes off for us, now let's see from the next 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year.
1 year.
So we hope that the pressure on the Naira will be drastically reduced, as well as the prices of the PMS.
All right.
Go down.
Dangote has brought in his refinery, and we saw a whole difference in the petroleum sector. We saw a highly competitive market where he could wake up one morning and drop the price, and everybody has to adjust to that because he knows it's his business, and he would definitely not run at a loss. But now with this Naira for crude, do you see it encouraging a lot more local refineries to spring up, knowing that they're going to get crude oil in Naira, that is their own currency, making it less cumbersome to, purchase forex just to buy crude or import crude, and you might end up running at a loss or putting it at prices that would not help you benefit. But with this Naira for crude, what is your hope for our own local, refineries in Nigeria? Do you see more springing up?
Yeah, it's a possibility, particularly on the part of the regulators. The NURPC, I think about a week or so, I have read somewhere threatening to even revoke licenses. Yes, some people were given licenses and they sat on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for that long. So they need to revoke them, yes. It's a good development. Award them to people that are ready. Particularly, business will come when the environment is conducive.
Indeed, true.
We need incentives, you understand? When you incentivize them, investment will come, insurance security, electricity, and your business environment, for instance, exemptions here and there. You understand? People will come, and particularly this crude for oil. People will come with their money, invest. They know that it's not a short time. I think it's a long time. So it's a very good development. And the issue that if we give you a license, there should be time frame. Lilian will give you a license and you went and sat on it. No, it needs to be revoked. Give it to people who are ready. And with this, it's one of the key areas that Dangote is a businessman.
Indeed.
He's not Father Christmas. Whatever he's doing, he's making profit out of it. It's a $20 billion investment or what if you. So smaller, you don't need to be as big as Dangote in Lagos. There are smaller that can even take care of areas. You can do a small one in Katsina, you can do one in Borno, you can do one in Kano. You understand? Just to target your own area so that this movement of the product from Lagos, because that is always the excuse by marketers.
Bridging claims.
Exactly, bridging, whatever bridging. But when you have them smaller ones, you can attend to certain 1 or 2 states. And all this bridging, whatever, cannot happen. So it's a very good development, and I hope that this will be perfected. So that, business people do due diligence. You can't just bring your money and sink it. So I think it's a very good way to go.
Well, with Dangote being the biggest refinery in Nigeria, functioning refinery in Nigeria, do you think that his persistence on this deal was what put it through and executed as well?
Yes, of course, exactly. If you look at it, when Dangote was doing the refinery, go to analyze his pictures. By the time he finishes, all his head is grey now. And he said it, He has been in the other sectors, cement, rice, and what have you. But when he realized that, okay, this is a very expensive, capital-intensive business. And because of the capital-intensive nature, the cabal in that sector is a global cabal. That, he had to confront it headlong. And he did that. He's a very shrewd businessman. And he pulled it through. And you remember the back and forth with the government and whatever. But now, at least, there's stability. It's sort of a win-win.
For both parties.
Exactly. So this crisis of importation from Malta and whatever, And the most important thing is what is it for Nigerians? They come buy fuel now at 850 or thereabout instead of what? There was a time it reached up to 1,002.
Yes.
And it was not even available.
Yes.
So with Dangote refinery, it has democratized the system. One Ip man, there are all manner of associations, that will sit down and be talking all manner of English that we don't understand. But now at least the prices are, if you like, sell 1,000. When there is competition, like you said, it democratize the thing, they regulate it. If Lilian is selling 1,000, okay, let us sell 1,000. You are selling on 850, I'll go there, provided it is available.
Indeed. Now, where does this leave, like you said, one Ip man and one this and that? The petroleum sector has been shrouded by secrecy. It's not been transparent for the longest time. Nigerians hardly understand what is happening there. But Dangote came with a megaphone and opened everything up. And, I love how he raised the alarm at every point in time. You people should see what they are doing. This is what is going. He made sure he carried Nigerians along and raised the alarm at every point in time as a businessman that he is. But like you mentioned, there are cabals in this thing. Do you see this being fully implemented and followed through? Or there's a tendency there might just be a sabotage somewhere along the line?
I know, the government will not allow it.
Okay.
Because we're talking about energy security. Energy security, look at what happened in Niger Republic some 3 weeks ago. Queues everywhere because they had issue with their Chinese refiners and what have you. Nigeria had to intervene. We are fighting, but they came here and the president approved 300 trucks of petrol to them. And the prices went down, the queues disappeared from their major cities. So it's energy security is an integral part of national security, just like food security.
Okay.
So no. The government will not joke with that. Already there is aftershocks of these reforms. I don't need to mention all of them. So even if at 850 you cannot buy, it can't come to work. You're angry. It can precipitate. It's a recipe for chaos. And no government, particularly at this particular time, will toy with anything that will endanger the already volatile situation. So no, and that's why it's affecting. At that time, the Dangote was talking about some cabals in the NNPC, NUPRC, and what have you. But now the government has taken it headlong. It's now part of our policy, and we are going for it.
I'm trying to be positive on it, but Nigeria always keeps you waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Certainly, and I know Dangote as well. But like you said, Dangote took all manner of journalists to go to see the refinery. He hardly granted interviews. But the man was all over there. We're talking about $20 billion business.
Yes.
Bank and whatever, so he couldn't risk it.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Naira, for this. All right.
My pleasure.